The alien's laughter echoed through the smoke and fire. It stood tall among the ruins, its silver armor glowing under the red sky. The voice came through a metal mask, deep and mocking. "Your guns need bullets?" it said. The sound was cold, sharp, almost human. Sergeant Cole Maddox lay behind a broken wall, his rifle pressed to his chest. He checked the magazine. Empty. The counter blinked 0. Around him, his squad was down. Only 2 still moved, dragging themselves through dust and ash. Plasma shots burned across the ground, cutting through metal and bone. Every hit made the air flash blue. Cole's breathing was heavy, his hands shaking from the heat and noise. He pressed his helmet mic. "Echo team, fall back to cover," he said, voice low but steady. There was no answer. Static filled his ear. He looked out again. The alien squad moved forward, their armor reflecting firelight. They didn't rush. They knew humans were finished here. One of them kicked a fallen human rifle aside and laughed in that strange voice again. Cole crawled to his last living squadmate, Private Lane, who was bleeding from the leg. Lane's eyes were wide. "They're coming, Sarge. They're playing with us." "I know," Cole said. "Keep your head down." He looked at his weapon again. Nothing left. The plasma grenades were spent. The ammo box had melted in the last blast. He had one knife and a piece of broken wall between him and the enemy. He looked up. The alien commander stood on a metal ridge, holding a long spear that glowed white at the edge. It pointed the spear down toward Cole. "You are finished, human soldier. You fought like animals, but this planet belongs to us." Cole stared back. His face was covered in dirt and blood. "Then come and take it," he said quietly. The alien tilted its head, amused. It gave a command in its language, and 2 soldiers advanced. Cole waited until they were close, then grabbed Lane's arm. "Run when I move," he whispered. Lane shook his head, but Cole was already on his feet. He came out from cover, shouting, swinging the empty rifle like a club. The first alien raised its weapon, but Cole slammed the rifle stock into its faceplate. The hit cracked glass. The alien stumbled back, roaring. Cole turned fast, hit the second in the neck, then jammed the gun butt into its throat until sparks came out. The alien commander stepped forward, surprised. "You have no bullets, yet you fight?" Cole spat blood. "Always." He charged at the commander. Plasma hit the ground near his feet, burning holes into the metal floor. He didn't stop. He moved fast, jumping through smoke and flame. The alien swung its spear. Cole ducked under it, slammed into the creature's chest, and hit it again with the empty rifle. The sound of metal on metal was sharp and deep. The alien caught him by the neck and lifted him off the ground. Cole gasped for air, kicking, trying to reach his knife. The alien tightened its grip. "You die with empty hands," it said. "That is human pride?" Cole forced a smile even as his vision darkened. "No," he whispered. "That's human rage." He swung the rifle one last time, breaking the alien's throat piece. The commander dropped him, roaring in pain as blue liquid sprayed out. Cole fell to the ground, coughing. He rolled away, grabbed his knife, and stabbed the alien's leg. The creature stumbled back, choking. Cole dragged himself behind the wreckage, coughing hard. Smoke filled his lungs. The alien commander was still moving, its hand over its neck. The other aliens shouted and moved to protect it. Cole looked at his rifle, the magazine still empty, the metal bent. He felt the heat rising from the burning outpost around him. He knew this place was done. He reached down to Lane, who was still alive, and whispered, "We're not finished." Then, from the sky above, came the sound of engines. Heavy, close. Alien ships were landing. Cole looked up, his face lit by red light. The alien commander raised its head again and pointed straight at him. The ground began to shake. The ground shook under the alien ships as they landed. Dust and fire spread through the air. Cole grabbed Lane and dragged him through the rubble before the dropships touched down. The engines roared, shaking the metal around them. He could see tall shapes moving through the smoke, heavy and armored. Lane gasped in pain. "Sarge, I can't walk." "You don't have to," Cole said. He lifted him onto a broken transport crate and pushed it down the slope. The crate slid between metal scraps and broken walls, sparks flashing as it scraped the floor. Cole followed behind, crouched low, scanning the ruins. Alien voices echoed through the static. They were speaking their harsh language, searching for him. He heard their claws hitting the ground. One of them shouted something, and a beam of red light cut across the ruins. Cole pulled Lane behind a fallen pillar just before the beam sliced through it. He pressed his hand on the comm unit again. "Echo team, respond. Any survivors?" Nothing, only static and the faint hum of interference. He shut it off before they could track the signal. He looked down at Lane. "Stay quiet." Lane nodded weakly. "What now?" Cole looked up at the sky. The alien ships circled above like vultures. He had to move before they locked onto their position. He spotted an old bunker nearby, half collapsed but still standing. He pulled Lane toward it, dragging him through dirt and ash. They reached the entrance. The door was jammed, so Cole used his knife to pry open the access panel. Inside, the air was thick and cold. The lights flickered, casting long shadows across the metal walls. He found a small power console and kicked it until it sparked to life. The room lit up, showing old human tech, broken helmets, and burned-out control panels. Cole moved fast, checking for supplies. He found a radio unit, half melted but still connected. He ripped off a piece of wire and tied it to a portable cell from his armor. The signal light blinked weakly. "This might work," he said. "Maybe." He spoke into the mic. "This is Sergeant Cole Maddox, Human Infantry, Colony Sector 7. Any units receiving, respond." He waited. Nothing. Then a faint voice came through the static. "Copy. This is Delta Command. Signal weak. Identify location." Cole felt a small surge of hope. "We're at Outpost 19, Eastern Sector. Under heavy attack. Multiple casualties. Request evac or backup." The voice broke up. "Signal. Poor. Repeat coordinates." Then silence. The signal died. The light on the console went out. Lane coughed hard. "They heard us?" "Maybe," Cole said. "Or maybe they just heard enough to send more of them here." He moved back to the doorway and looked out. The smoke had cleared enough to see the alien squads moving again. They were searching the wreckage methodically, scanning for human heat signatures. Cole watched them and clenched his jaw. He looked down at his rifle, still empty. Then he pulled out the magazine. It was bent and cracked, the metal edges sharp. He turned it over in his hand, thinking. Then he reached for the small explosive charge from his vest. He began working quietly, wiring the magazine to the charge and setting it near the entrance. Lane watched him. "What are you doing?" "Buying us time," Cole said. Outside, the aliens came closer. The first one's heavy steps echoed through the bunker hall. Cole could see its glowing armor through the doorway. He waited until it stepped on the threshold. Then he pressed the detonator. The explosion ripped through the entrance, throwing dust and debris into the air. The alien's armor split open, blue fire pouring out. The sound shook the bunker. Lane covered his ears and shouted, but Cole was already moving. He grabbed the alien's dropped weapon, a plasma rifle still humming with charge. He looked at it for a second, feeling the heat against his gloves. "Let's see if your toys work for us," he muttered. He aimed it toward the open smoke, ready for the next wave. But before he could fire, the radio crackled again. A voice came through, sharp and panicked. "Sergeant Maddox, your signal exposed another unit. They're being ambushed right now. Coordinates match your distress beacon." Cole froze. He looked at Lane, then at the smoke outside. His own message had just led more humans to their death. Cole stood frozen, the radio still hissing in his hand. His signal had doomed another human squad. The words echoed in his head. He looked at Lane, who stared back with wide eyes. Neither spoke for a long moment. Then Cole shoved the radio aside and loaded the stolen alien rifle. "Stay here," he said. "I'll fix this." Lane grabbed his arm. "You can't go alone." "I already did worse," Cole said and pulled free. He stepped out into the open ruins. The air was thick with smoke and heat. The alien ships circled above like predators. He moved fast, low to the ground, using broken walls for cover. His armor was cracked, his throat dry, but his mind was clear now. He had to reach the trapped humans before the aliens did. As he crossed a ridge, he saw flashes in the distance. Plasma fire. The other unit was fighting for their lives. He ran harder. The stolen weapon hummed in his hands. It felt strange, alive, reacting to his grip. He didn't trust it, but he needed it. He reached the edge of a canyon where the human squad was pinned down between rocks and twisted steel. Their signal beacon blinked weakly beside a wrecked vehicle. Cole slid down the slope, landing hard near one of the soldiers. The man turned and raised his weapon in fear. "Friendly," Cole shouted. "Sergeant Maddox, Echo Team." The soldier lowered his gun. His face was covered in dirt and blood. "We thought the signal was from command," he said. "Then they came from the sky." Cole looked at the bodies around them. At least 5 down already. Only 4 still moving. "We can't stay here," he said. "They're calling in heavy dropships." The squad leader, Lieutenant Harris, leaned against a rock, bleeding from his side. "Retreat where? There's nothing left out there." Cole looked at the canyon walls, jagged and full of debris. "Then we turned this place into a trap." They worked fast. Cole ordered the survivors to plant mines under the wrecks. He stripped parts from the dead aliens' armor and rigged them as sensors. He used broken power cells to make crude explosives. The men followed his orders without question. They had no choice. When the first alien patrol appeared at the canyon mouth, Cole was ready. He hid behind a rusted transport, holding the detonator. The aliens advanced in a clean formation, scanning for heat signatures. They didn't expect a counterattack. Cole waited until the lead soldier stepped on the buried mine. The explosion tore through the canyon. The sound was deafening. Rocks fell, smoke filled the air, and screams echoed through the dust. The remaining humans opened fire. Plasma bolts and human bullets mixed in one chaotic storm. Cole moved through the smoke like a shadow, firing the alien rifle in short bursts. Each shot cracked with blue fire. The weapon tore through armor like paper. He hit one, then another, never stopping. But the aliens were not untrained. They regrouped fast, taking cover behind wreckage. Their commander barked orders, and a heavy plasma cannon deployed from the rear. Cole saw it charge up. The light grew bright. He shouted, "Down!" and dove forward, throwing his last explosive toward the cannon. The blast ripped it apart, but the shockwave threw him across the ground. He landed hard, vision spinning. When the smoke cleared, the canyon was silent except for crackling fire. Bodies lay everywhere, human and alien. The survivors looked around in disbelief. They had won. Harris coughed, smiling weakly. "You're insane, Maddox." Cole didn't answer. He looked at the burning sky above them. "We bought time, that's all." He helped Harris to his feet. The man was pale and shaking. "Command will come," Harris said. Cole looked toward the horizon. A massive shadow moved across the clouds. The alien command ship was descending, black and huge, its engines shaking the ground. Cole stared at it, his hand tightening on the rifle. Then, they better come fast. The ship began to open its lower bay doors. Hundreds of small lights appeared inside, like eyes. The next wave was coming. The alien command ship hovered above the canyon, its shadow stretching across the burning ground. The air shook from the deep hum of its engines. Cole watched it, jaw tight, his armor scorched and his face streaked with dirt. Around him, the survivors stood silent, staring up at the massive ship that blocked the sky. Lieutenant Harris coughed, blood on his lips. "We can't fight that, Maddox." Cole said nothing. He watched the ship's underbelly open, revealing troop pods lowering down on metal cables. Hundreds of alien soldiers were dropping fast, the air filled with the sound of their armor clanging as they hit the ground. "We move," Cole said. "Now." They ran through the wreckage, climbing toward the ruined city that lay beyond the canyon. The ground trembled under their boots. Alien fire rained behind them, burning through steel and stone. Cole led the way, guiding them through shattered buildings until they reached the broken skyline of what was once a human capital. The streets were silent, full of ash and wrecks. Neon signs flickered weakly in the distance. Cole pushed open the door of a half-collapsed building and waved the survivors inside. It was an old museum. Dust covered the shattered glass cases and broken metal statues. Harris limped in behind him. "What is this place?" "History," Cole said. "What's left of it?" Inside, he saw the remains of a burned flag on the wall, the stripes faded and torn. He stopped for a second, staring at it. He remembered when he first joined the army, when the flag still meant something real. Harris watched him but said nothing. Outside, the alien soldiers moved through the city streets, scanning the ruins with bright beams of light. The deep voice of their commander echoed from speakers, speaking human words this time. "You cannot hide. You fought well, but your world belongs to us." The sound sent chills through the room. The younger soldier, Quinn, looked panicked. "They're right behind us, Sarge." Cole turned to him. "You still got that mind pack?" "Yes, but it's damaged." "Good enough. Set it by the entrance. If they come in, they'll get a welcome." Quinn moved fast, shaking but focused. Harris sank down against the wall, pale and weak. "Maddox," he said quietly, "we can't win this. You know that." Cole didn't look at him. "Maybe not. But we can make them remember us." He checked the alien rifle again. Its power level was low. The glow from its core flickered. He knew it wouldn't last another long fight. He took Harris's hand and squeezed it once. "You did good, Lieutenant." Harris gave a tired smile. "Don't lie to a dying man." Cole looked out through the cracked window. The alien troops were closing in. He could hear their boots on the metal streets. The commander's voice was louder now. "Human soldier, I know you hear me, the one who broke my voice. Step out. Face your end with honor." Cole's hand tightened on his weapon. He looked at the others. "Stay low. If I don't come back, trigger the mines." He walked out into the open street. The city glowed red under the ship's light. The alien commander was waiting, armor burned where Cole had hit it before. Its damaged throat made a harsh sound with every breath. It raised its weapon and pointed it at Cole. "You again," it said, voice broken and metallic. Cole stepped closer, gun steady. "You should have killed me when you had the chance." The alien's eyes glowed brighter. "You are one man. I am the end of your kind." Cole smirked slightly. "Then let's end it right here." The alien roared and charged. Cole fired, the rifle spitting bursts of blue fire. The shots hit, burning holes in armor, but the alien kept coming. Cole dove aside, rolled, grabbed a piece of pipe, and struck the alien across the head. It staggered, then swung its weapon and hit Cole hard, throwing him into a wall. Pain shot through his chest. He gasped, but pushed himself up. The alien lunged again. Cole ducked low, grabbed its broken throat plate, and shoved the knife from his belt straight into the soft gap beneath it. The alien froze, choking. Cole twisted the blade. Blue liquid sprayed across his armor. The alien fell to its knees. "You talk too much," Cole said. He pulled the knife free. The alien's hand hit a control on its armor. Cole saw a red light flash on its chest. A signal. Above them, the command ship began to glow, charging for an orbital strike. The red light from the alien's armor grew brighter. Cole looked up and saw the sky turning white. The command ship was charging its main cannon. The ground shook under the pressure. Buildings began to collapse, glass falling like rain. Cole stumbled back, eyes fixed on the growing light above. He grabbed the alien's arm and yanked the device off its chest, throwing it aside. It was too late. The strike had been called. The alien gasped on the ground, blue blood pouring from its throat. Its damaged voice tried to speak. "You all die." Cole turned and ran toward the museum. His lungs burned. Dust filled his mouth. Inside, Quinn was trying to help Harris stand, panic in his eyes. "What happened?" he shouted. "They're firing from orbit," Cole said. "We have minutes." Harris's voice was weak. "There's no way to stop that." Cole looked around the room. The old power tower at the back of the building still hummed faintly. It had been part of the city's signal grid. A broken transmitter stuck out of the roof. He had one idea left, one that made no sense, but it was all he had. He ran to the tower, pulling wires and tools from his belt. Quinn followed. "What are you doing?" "Turning their signal against them." Cole reached for his rifle. It was dead, drained from the last shots. He ejected the empty magazine, the same one that had followed him since the first battle. He turned it in his hand, then looked at the transmitter's broken core. The metal inside was cracked but still conducting power. He jammed the magazine into the slot, forcing it in place. Sparks flew. "The metal will bridge the circuit," he said. "If I overload the tower, it might trigger an EMP pulse." Quinn shook his head. "That'll kill everything, even us." "Then it's fair," Cole said. "They wanted to erase this city. I'll make sure they go down with it." He connected the last wire, his hands shaking from blood loss. The tower's lights began to pulse faster. The alien ship's glow above was now blinding. A deep sound filled the air like thunder. The beam was seconds from firing. Cole shouted, "Get them underground, now!" Quinn dragged Harris and the last soldier toward the lower floor. Cole stayed at the tower, staring at the sky. The red light of the alien weapon was reflected in his helmet. He placed his hand on the rifle one last time. "Let's see if you still have something left," he said quietly. He flipped the switch. The tower exploded in light. Electricity ripped through the metal frame, up into the antenna, and fired a surge into the sky. The beam from the alien ship fired at the same time. The two energies met mid-air. The sky turned white and then dark as the feedback tore through the ship's systems. The alien flagship's engine screamed. Flames burst from its sides as it lost control. It began to fall, spinning, breaking apart above the city. The explosion lit the clouds, shaking everything below. The sound rolled like a storm. Inside the museum, Quinn shielded Harris as debris fell from the ceiling. The blast wave hit hard, throwing them to the ground. When it was over, there was silence. Quinn looked around, coughing. "Cole!" No answer. He ran to the tower. It was half melted, smoke rising from the ruins. Cole lay at its base, armor cracked and covered in ash. His face was calm, eyes half open looking at the burning sky. Quinn knelt beside him. "It worked," he said softly. "You did it." Cole's lips moved faintly. "No bullets," he whispered. "Still enough." Then he went still. Above, the alien flagship broke apart completely, raining fire across the horizon. The survivors watched in silence. The sky that once belonged to the enemy now burned with their own wreckage. The empty magazine that started it all still glowed inside the tower, buried in light. Far away, in the static of the broken comm line, a faint alien voice whispered through the noise. "Your guns need bullets." Then it faded into silence.